Thank you for tuning in this time on Disrupt and Discuss podcast.
Anybody that can do, I've tried it. I've tried to go to when I was in college. I tried to work and go to college. That didn't work.
Right.
I'm a one trick pony. I got to focus on one thing. I can't do both. Tried to work a part time for a little bit to bring money in for the business. One trick pony.
One trick pony.
It didn't work. Didn't
You
work.
can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Nope. Bite the inside of my mouth. Can't do it.
Welcome to Disrupt and Discuss with your hosts, E and Casey. A Boucher Ventures production brought to you by It's Just ETV and My Herba by the Fitness Collective. Now, without any further ado, disrupt and discuss.
Hey everyone. Hey guys, welcome back to Disrupt and Discuss. I am E.
And I am KC.
And we are also known as D&D. And so today, you guys, we have another episode. Guys, hopefully you enjoy it. We're talking about entrepreneurship, content creator subjects. Last episode, we talked about, what was it? The identity. That's what we were talking about, the creator or the entrepreneur's identity. Today, we're getting into the dark side. The episode is called The Dark Side of the Hustle. Entrepreneurs, influencers, and creators. Being your own product. And so you probably saying, isn't being an influencer and content creator the same? No, it's not.
Nope.
The two are different. And we'll get into that a little bit with regards to it. So welcome to this. We're going to unpack the real, raw, and revolutionary side of it. KC, you have anything you want to add before we get into our actual conversation?
I'm really getting into this part of it, not to be doom and gloom, just putting that out there. But I just think that telling people, oh, I have my own business or I'm a content creator, that it sounds good. It even looks good on paper. But every once in a while, you don't necessarily hear I guess you say dark side, as we said, but the downside of it. For those that, even those that have made it, and I use air quotes, made it, versus those that are still trying to make a name for themselves. There's a lot that goes into it. I don't want to dissuade anybody by no means, but I just feel that sometimes what you're getting into or what it could be, I'd rather you go, oh, that was bullshit. I didn't have that problem. But you knew from what we were saying that possibility existed, rather than myself walking into it and go, what the fuck? Sometimes content creators, or you see things on TV and they're like, oh, I have this product and I'm packing my orders and I'm taking them down to the post office. Oh, look at all my orders. Oh, what if you only get 2 orders?
Exactly.
You still want the business. Now what?
Exactly. It's a lot that goes into it. And we're going to be peeling back. I guess you would say the Insta. We're going to peel it back.
Yep.
We're going to get raw, a little bit raw with it, within reason.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the pressures of burnout, the identity crisis. We're going to talk about building a business, chasing clout, or turning your life into content. We're going to get into that. Let's get into that. So let's break it down. We have what's it called? The dark triad of hustle culture. What is that? But we're calling it that because you got the entrepreneur, the entrepreneurs building products in the business. So entrepreneurs, they typically have products, such as Casey. She has her My Herba product. And so she has these supplements. It's a tangible, it's a physical product. She's an entrepreneur, that just giving her as an example. And then you have influencers. They're chasing followers. They're getting brand deals. So that's the person you'll see on Instagram. They have these beautiful aesthetics, these reels of their lives, and they're using these products. And you're like, oh, I need that. I want that. It looks good. I want that in my house. Where do I get it? And then they have all these little links to it, right? That's the influencer. They're influencing you by making this aesthetic reel. You're following them in their lives and their morning routine, and they're showing you everything they do. It looks so good the way they do it, and you want it to. So they're influencing you to buy brands. That's what they're for. And brands contact them to influence you to buy their brand. So that's what that is about.
Absolutely.
And then we have the content creator, where they are essentially, they're the product. So now you're in that realm of what I do. I'm the product. All right. We are essentially out here talking, telling stories, kind of what we're doing on here. We told our health and wellness journey We are the content. We are, we are you're tapping into us and what we do. And so we're the product. So those are all three. That's the triad. And the dark side, we're going to talk about the dark side. It's real and it hits different for each one of those segments. So that's what we're
Oh
going to talk
yeah,
about.
yeah, and it's funny because everybody's like, "Oh, I want to be my own boss," and then they're
Right.
like, "Wait a minute, being your boss also has a dark side,
Yeah.
and there's no employees sometimes." Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
You being your own boss. I'm
yeah.
a bad boss.
It's never simple. It's never simple. We can start. Let's start. Say financial illusions.
Yes. The financial illusions of entrepreneurs. They
Yeah,
are
buddy.
they ain't rich. They're out here betting their life savings, 401ks, things of that nature, taking loans, praying,
A
that the
lot of
business
praying.
doesn't tank. A lot of praying. Is no safety net a lot of times, especially if you're single and you're not married. It's all on you. It's just vibes and Red Bull at the initial stages.
And I know in my case, because I have an actual product, but what about influencers? So just starting out, some people think, hey, I'll just post a few selfies, I'll do this, I'll do that, and then I'll get paid.
They tell you just got to press the button on the camera. Just start. Yes, that's you initially getting over the fear of putting out a reel or putting out something, but you don't instantly get paid. I mean, they have outliers out there, yes, but most 95% of the folks, you barely get 1 or 2 views on your first reel or your first video that you put up. They don't know you. You haven't hit the algorithm. The
Right.
algorithm doesn't know who you are. So you're posting, you post your stuff and then it's crickets. You still have to learn consistency and that if you're not prepared for that, am I going to post every week? Am I going to post twice a week? Am I going to post every day? You have to determine those things and then realize that again, if you're new, they don't know you. So the algorithm has to get used to you. So you may not get views. And so a lot of people get deterred or like, oh, well, I'm not going to do this. Nobody's even looking at my stuff, but you have to keep going. And there can be if you don't have that type of wherewithal to want to do it, then yeah, you might quit your first week, your first couple of weeks, because you're looking at, oh, I didn't get the views, or a lot of people ain't even checking for me. So it can be a deterrent.
Yeah, we're all out here in our own form or fashion. We're all out here hustling to get that freedom.
Yes.
One thing I have to even keep telling myself, there's been a lot of people out there that have been doing it for years. Every so often, like some of the content creators that I even follow or influencers, if you will, they'll say, oh, I've been doing this 6 years. I've been doing this 10, 15 years. And I'm like, God, dang. So some of these people have really put in the work. They have paid their dues. They have done the hustle. And it seems they're jet setting across the world, if you will. But are they really? And I'm not trying
Right.
to poo-poo it, but you don't really know what's behind the scenes. There's that one show, it was on HBO. I can't think of it right now, but it was like doing the behind the scenes of what some of these influencers really are doing. And you would think that one was in an airplane, but yeah, they might be in a hangar and there might
Yeah.
be a toilet seat on the side of them, and they're looking through this, what you think is a window. They're
Right.
looking through it, but then they pan back and you're looking at something totally different than what you saw
Oh, absolutely.
originally.
I discussed this once on one of my, I don't know if it was a video I did, but they're in LA and out here, period. But now they have these little selfie rooms.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that.
yeah, they have selfie rooms. And so they have a hangar. It looks like a airplane where
Okay.
a jet set luxury airplane, but it's just a couple of seats, a window. It looks all nice, but it's actually a selfie room. And people go in it and they act like they're on this jet, da 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 da. And I'm about to go somewhere, but they're just taking selfies in this little room. Or you can pull a bow wow and you get on the hangar and you see a jet and you stand in front of them. Hey, I'm about to get on this jet. It's all an
Oh, wow.
illusion.
Okay.
People
Yeah.
do things that, what do they call it? Fake it till you make it type of situation. A
Right.
lot of them do things that to get themselves out there. A lot of folks that are, when you're doing these get ready with me's, a lot of folks don't understand, or some people do, those get ready with me's where you see people that they come on and they do all these, they have 3 and 4 different outfits and they do them real quick. And you're like, oh, like that. And then, oh, go to Shein or go to Fashion Nova or go here to get it.
Uh-huh.
Well, a lot of times if they have the Coach bag and this and that, a lot of times they're buying all that stuff and then they return it.
Well, I mean, we were doing that back in the day, not necessarily Coach necessarily,
but that's what they do.
yeah.
The shoes, the nice $500, $1,000 shoes.
Damn.
Yeah, they show you and then they return it. So they're faking it until they make it. It's a grind. They're trying to create this image, because that image is going to bring more views, then you can capitalize on that. And then hopefully brands will start wanting to work with you
Right.
if you do it right. But there's a point, the dark side of all of that is a lot of times you're doing all of this and you start making money, but sometimes that can dry up. Brand deals are not reaching out to you. Maybe you're not running it like a business. You have all these people reaching out to you. They give you deadlines. Okay, when you sign the
That's what I heard.
contract,
Yeah. Yeah.
you sign a contract with them, and then you have a certain amount of time that they give you contractually to put out a video for them, whether it be hair, clothing, jewelry, whatever. And if you don't do it within a timely manner, you're messing yourself up to where that brand may not want to work with you. Or if you don't put out a quality, they're like, we're not going to pay for this because it's not quality.
But also, it also wouldn't that also depend on the amount of followers you have that a brand deal
Yes.
also I would think that there would need to be, and again, for those of you that already know this, like I said, this isn't my wheelhouse, which is why I even
Right.
have questions. So you need to have obviously a shitload of followers before something comes your way in terms of a brand deal. I mean, if you've got like, I don't know, 1,500, for
Right.
example,
Right.
that might not get you, or it might not get you what you're really wanting as a brand deal.
It can. So that I would say this. So it has changed a lot over the years, and there's different levels to it. There's the big folks that are out there that have 100,000, 500,000 followers, a million subscribers, but that's like the macro. And then they have the micro. A lot of them are dealing with 20,000, 30,000 subscribers, or even 5,000. If they see a lot of traction, or you have an audience, you have a community, then you can turn that into deals, and they will
Okay.
reach out to you. So it's not always the big ones, because when you notice the bigger people who have like millions of subscribers, they change products every 30 days, every 45 days. Oh, try
Right.
this. Oh, do
Right.
this. So it's not as authentic. So a lot of brands are looking for authenticity now. So you can't get that with bigger people. It's almost like us on YouTube, we're more relatable than, folks that are on TV now. You'll come to YouTube to get your
Correct.
information or watch things, as opposed to watching regular TV and the big stars, Hollywood stars, because they're for sale per se.
True.
So
Okay. No,
yeah,
it makes sense.
yeah. And what about with regards to when it comes to you and your product? How does that work for you in the entrepreneurial space?
Well, for me, it's like, unlike influencers when it's you.
Hmm.
You're like that one man band that you're doing it. Mine is multifaceted because there's the marketing aspect, there's the sales aspect, which is connected to marketing, but then it might not necessarily be a marketer plus a salesperson. You have two people in tandem that are working with you, in
Hmm.
my case. And depending on, again, just like you're talking brand deals, if no one knows you, you're talking sales, but no one knows you. So you need to be able to get out there. One thing I think we had stated before, there's a difference between having your own business and being an entrepreneur. It's one
Right.
thing having your business, but it's not recommended that you try to do everything because you don't know everything. Sometimes you
Right.
don't know what you don't know. So being able to delegate helps a lot. And if you don't have the funds for it, then obviously you do what your funds will allow you to do. But as time goes on and you get to know different people and you get a little bit of money in your pocket, you're able to delegate some of those duties, that you would have done. I tried to do
Right.
some of the marketing up to a certain point, but then I could only take it to a certain part. And then I had to turn it over to somebody who knew more than I did. And it's hard doing that sometimes because this is your baby, thought about it, the inception, the whole 9 yards. And here you have this product and you don't want anybody to run your shit in the ground.
Right.
Sometimes you hire people and they might not run your shit in the ground, but they ain't shit. Put it that way. Then you have to learn from that. Hopefully you don't have to learn from that, but sometimes you do. And sometimes learning from that is actually experience being the best teacher. Then
Exactly.
you end up getting your tribe. You end up getting people around you that can help you take your product to the next level. So the
Right.
difference is being able to delegate, being
Yep.
able to, that frees you up to work on other visionary things for your product. And you can help to take it to the next level. Hey, I want to do this. I want to that. Well, you already have your marketing person who could be sometimes one and the same, your salesperson. Well, hey, let's take this route, that route. They might know something you don't. And then I just know the end product of what I want. And then you have somebody helping you that way. I don't know if I'm answering your question or I've done the scenic route, but you need to
No, you
sometimes,
did.
okay. You need
No,
to
you
definitely be able to.
absolutely. It sounds to me with regards to all of this, there's way you can burn, right? There's ways, get trapped into the dark side of, doing this. For social media content creators and influencers, it's more the algorithm. You're playing roulette with the algorithm. And that's for a content creator or that's for a social media influencer. That's always. But for influencers, it's brand deals. Brand deals can dry up. You got to deal with your analytics. It's a slot machine. For content creators, it's selling your identity, right? Every post is a piece of your soul, literally, because you're the product.
I like that.
You're the product, right? You are the product. One misstep, one thing, one perspective, or one you might bare your soul about one thing, and the next thing, if it doesn't agree with the masses, you enter cancel culture real quick with a content creator.
Seen that happen.
Right. You have to walk a fine line with not being too real or bearing too much of your soul. Sometimes it's not always relatable. And then for you were saying with entrepreneurship, you were just about to say something. I was cutting you off.
No, not with entrepreneur, but I was just thinking when you're talking about influencers and everything. And again, this is something why I would never be an influencer, because basically you're on call 24/7.
Yes.
And you have to be okay with that. Whether you get tired or not, that is what you do, whether it's, and not being funny, what I ate for breakfast, that kind of thing. And then here we go. For me, vacation is where I can just relax. And my thing is, when you're packing for your vacation, you're on the plane, and not that I could have remembered to pack anything after I've gotten on the plane, but somehow when you're taxiing down that runway, and then when you build that momentum and then the plane rises and you just take off. And I'm like, if it ain't with me now, fuck it. It ain't coming. I know, really. When I was, when I do my 9 to 5, fuck it. If that email didn't get through, oh well.
Oh well. Okay. No, that's real.
But then when you're on vacation as an influencer, then that's content.
It's content. Everything is content. And you may have, it's a content reel. It's a highlight reel, and it's your story. It's content, story times. And for us, like content creators, you see a lot of story times, getting intimate. Let's talk about something that happened, an emotional breakup with your relationship. You on there a lot.
And see, that's where I could see you would get fried, because you're constantly, there's no downtime. You're constant, because it's all you.
Yep. They bare their souls, literally. And it's some people, they can do it really well, but it can definitely, there can be some fallout from it. It can be an emotional roller coaster, because your life is essentially your business, basically. So those emotional tolls definitely it can be a lot for you.
See, and here we go, where the difference is for entrepreneurs, we tie our whole identity in our business. So trust me though, but if sales dip, we feel it. Definitely feel it. Numbers don't lie.
We ain't going out to dinner. We ain't going out to dinner this whole week.
No, we're not gonna do that. You're gonna open that can of chili over there.
The sales wasn't hitting for this month. We got to tone it down.
Right. But on all of these that we're discussing, when it's good, to me, sometimes it makes it all worth it to not be at a 9 to 5. But when it sucks, you knew that on the 15th and the 31st, or the 1st and the 15th, or every other week, or every week, you got a certain amount of money coming in. You might not have liked it, but you knew you had that money coming in, because there's been many days I would say, damn, if I was still back at my job, I knew this Friday I'd have some money in my pocket.
Money. Exactly. Yeah. It's not for sure. That's the one thing. Again, it's not for sure. So if you used to get, but there's a lot of us that do still hold down 9 to 5s. And that brings an extra layer of burnout.
Anybody that can do it, I've tried it. I've tried to go to, when I was in college, I tried to work and go to college. That didn't work.
Right.
I'm a one-trick pony. I got to focus on one thing. I can't do both. Tried to work a part-time for a little bit to bring money in for the business. One-trick pony.
One-trick pony.
It didn't work. Didn't work.
You can't walk and chew gum at the same time?
Nope. Bite the inside of my mouth. Can't do it. Nope.
No,
that's why you suck on mints.
That's why you suck on mints. Exactly. And I hope you guys are getting what we're trying to portray here. We're not trying to down it, but we're trying to give you the realities for anybody who's out here that wants to do this. It comes with a lot. You just be real about it. I feel a lot of people don't talk about it, or you get people that are out here that have already made it, air quotes. They've already made it and they talk about it. We haven't necessarily made it. We're doing good.
Making it.
We're
Haven't made
making it. Right. We haven't made it. And so we're giving the perspective from we still out here in the mix making things happen. So it's easier to hear it from somebody who's made it happen, but I feel there also should be a balance of people who are still out here pushing it. Give you that perspective as well. Because a lot of times when you see people who have made it, you're like, you get in, you glamorize it. Oh, that's gonna be me. Well, we giving you the grit of it all because they don't at this point they are so far removed from this side of it. They have hired people now. I mean, massive people. They're not even doing a lot of the stuff. They're just turning on the lights right now. Okay, you need me to be on. Who has my script? Who has this? They have a system and it's working and it brings them in. They've arrived. We're talking from the perspective of you're trying to get to that or close to that, whatever it looks like for you.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I have a friend of mine who's, I guess you can call him a content creator, but he's an entrepreneur and he's constantly on Instagram and stuff. I've showed you his picture before, Joe Fells. You would see him and you would go, okay, how do you guys even know each other? Let me tell you, he is a hustler, plain and simple. He's got like 40 jobs right now, basically, and he doesn't stop. When I first met him, I thought he was homeless, to be quite honest. And little did I know that he was going to end up being my friend. The guy is a hustler. I mean, he has like apps that he has done. He's got a lot of real estate stuff that he does. And he also talks about it a lot. And the reason why I bring him up is because he works his ass off. So everything that he has gotten, everything that he's amassed, he has worked his ass off, which is a lot of people out here. There's a lot of other ones that I know that they don't just, oh, I made it, and then they start to slide. They're constantly, even though people have made it. So yeah, you're working your ass off to get all that going. And then now you have to maintain it. So that's a whole nother, and it's not necessarily the dark side, but it's reality. You don't just hide for the rest of the time because, again, if you're an influencer, they've got it rough too. The entrepreneur, they've got their own kind of rough. The content creator, same thing. Once you made it, now you got to keep it.
It can dry up. It cannot be there. It fold for whatever reason, or it didn't. You thought it was going to go in a certain direction and it doesn't. So you definitely have to have multiple streams of income. And so that's why we say some people, it's not for the faint of heart, because if you're used to getting your on the 1st and the 15th, or every other Friday, however it works from where you work, then this you may want to rethink everything. You may want to rethink it. Definitely, it can be rough for entrepreneurs, their products, making sure that they have a quality product, making sure that they are advertising that product, getting the right people around them, those things. And then influencers, it gets rough because you deal with cancel culture, you deal with brand
One
deals
wrong
drying
word,
up.
man. One wrong
word. And then you cancel. You said something wrong and the comments go crazy. Content creators, it gets brutal. Like I said, influencers, the brands dry up. They don't have the funds because a lot of times they're going off of annually. What type of funds do we have for influencers to get our product out there? So if that dries up, if they don't have the capital to look for influencers, they can't get brand deals. So if they've cut back, if they've rolled it back some. So you have to have different irons in the fire for all of it. Nothing is promised. 9 to 5 ain't promised. Entrepreneurship ain't promised.
Well, cut you there too.
So if you think you go get it, says I'm just gonna work for me, it ain't promised. You have to have different ways of getting it. So I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Let's talk about. Let's check in. Wellness check in. You can't pour from an empty brand. You can't pour from an empty bottle. But you can't pour from an empty brand. Let's talk about that. Let's reflect on that. We've gone a little bit deep, kind of shallow. We're in the shallow water. Let's talk about wellness, because it's at that point of when you're building your empire, if you're crumbling inside, how do you deal with that? When you're trying to build, your brand, you're trying to build what you want, your brand, your product, things of that nature. What happens when you're crumbling inside, but you're like, oh my God, like
Well,
imposter syndrome sometimes.
yeah, any stress slash burnout, it just doesn't mess with your vibe or how you're doing things. It also affects your decision making, your creativity, your
Yep.
leadership. It just kind of starts to spiral. It really does. And you just check out. And sometimes you don't
Yeah.
even know why. You don't even realize you're doing it. So you and I both have talked about there's times when you're in the bed and you got the covers over and you're like, I just can't do it today. I just
Yep.
can't do it. And
Yep.
I don't know if it happens. I think not so much happening in the beginning because
Right.
you're excited. You've got all these delusions of
Yes.
grandeur. It's going to be great. I'm going to have all these orders come in. They see the people when all these little orders are coming off the little order forms and I'm packing and you get two. But I'm still doing it. But then after a while, that starts to wear on you, just like all this other stuff. And again, that's where the indecision happens, wrong decisions, and your creativity. I don't know what the hell's going on. Fuck it. I just ain't going to do it. So, and it could be something very minimal that you would need to change, whether it be on entrepreneur, the creator, influencer. But if your vibe is off, your creativity and your leadership, you're basically dead in the water.
Absolutely. I agree with that. You can go into that mode, just like influencers and creators. When you're the product, you
Yep.
have to protect your mind. Protecting your mind is protecting your brand. So we talk about this a lot with regards to your mental health and just keeping yourself balanced. That may be boundaries, that may be therapy for some, that may be breaks. For me, it's a lot of breaks. I take a lot of detox from social media because sometimes you can watch so many different people and you want to support,
Mhm.
but in your supporting, you're taking away from yourself a lot and you're
You are.
not necessarily doing what you need to do. And sometimes you need a mental break from it all. Sometimes it can mess with your creative mojo to where you are in a slump with what you want to do for your own brand. So you have to take these mental breaks to kind of like reset, get your mind. So I take these mental, I will not come on here unless I'm doing this or unless I'm doing tap in. I will post and leave, literally not look at none of that stuff. I will post and leave. And that's what I do for my sanity to help me to not go over the edge. That's me
Oh,
saving
yeah. Yeah.
myself. That's me putting that air oxygen mask on
Oh,
myself.
on the airplane.
Right.
Yep. Yep. No,
Right. That airplane. I gotta save myself. You have to be at that point because sometimes you will feel like, "Oh, I gotta support everybody. I gotta support this. I gotta do that. I gotta respond to
Mhm.
everything. I gotta comment on everything. I gotta let people know that I'm here. I'm in the chat." I'm talking about content creation for me, real life. But a lot of times you just
Real
wanna
shit here. Uh-huh.
real shit. You just wanna back away. Be like, okay, I'll watch. Every once in a while, I don't want to watch. I just want to be in my own little, they call it bubble verse. Yes, sometimes I just want to be in my bubble
Yep.
and just do things that I like to do because I want to do them. And that helps me to reset and be creative again. But if I feel like I'm constantly in this routine of I got to do this, I got to be here, I got to do on this and say this and support this, and I'm not doing anything for me, doing
Right.
everything for
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It makes, I mean, basically you have to have a clear head, which will build sustainable success. I mean, you said you have to know when to take the breaks.
yes.
I go on my vacations where I don't look or I'm just detox from everything. I don't know if I can completely shut down from not so much social media, but my phone, I take
Right.
that everywhere. I sometimes turn it off, but I still have it with me because I might need it for what I don't know. But I just want to know that I have it. I'll have the ringer off because even those little noises, it's just like
Right. The alerts, the
ping, ping, ping. And
notifications.
next thing you
Yeah.
know, I'm constantly looking.
Yes.
I don't need to see what next sale is going on, but you're so
Exactly.
typed into that noise that I just have to turn that off. So definitely a clear head builds sustainable success for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And you do, pause, log off. That's not a weakness. That's called maintenance. It's
Yes.
okay. You have maintenance for your skin. We have, especially the girlies, we have maintenance for our skin, our hair, our routines, and our regimens. It's not a weakness. You have to do these things to keep yourself fresh. It's okay. Do the same thing in your work environment. That's why in a 9 to 5, if you have a corporate 9 to 5, that's why they give you vacation days.
Yeah, but then you put in requests and hopefully they grant it.
You got to
I'm
fight
like,
sometimes, but yeah,
really?
you got to fight sometimes.
Okay, let
Sometimes.
me stop. That's
Yeah,
a whole nother conversation.
especially during the
Flashback. All right.
holiday. I'm gonna do a flashback 9 to 5. Especially during the holidays, you got to fight. Everybody want to take off a week for Thanksgiving, but everybody can't get it. Yeah.
See,
If
back
you
in the
know,
I didn't at the beginning of the every year, I would put in my vacation for the entire year. See,
right,
everybody is still reeling from the new year. They did this, they did. I'm like,
right,
fuck that shit. I'm putting my stuff in now. So no, well, you
right.
can only put in 6 months in advance. And it's like, okay. But then it wasn't a seniority based job, but I was there longer than some of them folks. So as soon as they sent the email of when you can put in the next portion, I did it immediately because only so
You
many
did it
people could be.
immediately.
Oh, yeah. And I was
Casey was
there
on the
for,
immediately.
and then I never forget one of the managers that said, and I don't know if he was talking to me, but I took it as he was talking to me. You need to let some other people have the advantage
See,
of taking time off around the holidays. I'm like,
see,
I've been here longer than these people. Fuck that shit. No.
see. I told you. That's what the holiday time is like. For certain
Mm-mm.
jobs, they're like, oh no, we gotta no. I saved up. Me, I'm a Thanksgiving Christmas girl. So I learned from even now when we take breaks. Like I do it even in this 2 weeks, December. I don't want to see this stuff. I want to chill,
Yep.
family time, go wherever I
Absolutely.
want to go, enjoy the holidays. I treat it like a business. You
Yes.
need your downtime.
I try not to
You
do
need your
too much on the
downtime.
weekends. Even though there's stuff I need to do, I might do a thing here or there, but for the most part, I try not to do too much on the weekends because,
Right.
like you said, it's a 24/7 kind of gig. And after a while, it's like, okay, where's the dividing line?
Because you left your 9 to 5, or you want to leave your 9 to 5 because there was some type of either you feel you didn't have enough time for yourself. You got tired of only taking breaks when they wanted you to. It does transfer over into this type of business. You still have to do the same. You have to do the same things. It's just for yourself now. It's not for someone else.
You're working on your dream and not someone else's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where you have
And
to treat it.
even though we said that it's a 24/7 kind of a thing, I still try to at least maintain the off switch
Yes.
because really I can work every day. There's something that
Right.
needs to be done every day.
Every day.
And then that's where that burnout because you don't have any downtime with it. And
Absolutely.
so I try, and when I say that I'm always doing something and I try not to do it on the weekend, well, guess what? I'm doing it all during the week. So I might be 2 or 3 in the morning, more than likely. I'm up doing the
Yep.
work that I need to be doing. So I don't freak out on the weekends when I'm having. Why are you laughing?
No, because I feel it. I'm
Oh,
feeling what you're saying because I do it too.
yeah.
Sometimes when it's quiet, I don't know, it's like either early in the morning
Ooh,
or
that's the
at
best.
night. Those are the best times to where I feel like there's
Yep.
no distractions and I can
Yep.
think better and I can put stuff together better. As
Yeah,
opposed
absolutely.
when in the middle of the day there's distractions and sometimes I just can't get my thoughts or I can't get what I need to get done
Correct.
the way I want it to be done. So that's why I was laughing because I'm feeling what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were laughing at me.
No,
I've
no,
got
I can
issues.
relate.
Okay. Okay.
Totally, totally. No, it's definitely and just she said it is 24/7. And when you talk about people who create content, especially people who are, they have the camera in front of them all the time. There are influencers that is their life to where they are chronologing their life. They are showing you their life. So their morning routine, their evening routine, their workout routine, they're this, they're that, da 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 da. They're cooking, they're being with their family. Some of these people, they have that camera on 24 and more. So they do have to plan out times where they don't show you everything. They have to keep some things to themselves because they're giving a lot already. So those are those times where you may see them, they started out hard. they're posting and you see everything, a day in a life or a week in a life. And then all of a sudden they're like, you guys, you probably been wondering where I've been for a couple of weeks. That's that burnout, or they take a month and they come back. That's that burnout. They have all they could and they need to pour back into themselves. So
Yeah, and I know you're very conscious about that. I'm not trying to be funny at all, but I know we had asked before about people have recognized you. Now, that's one of the things that it would really trip me out if somebody came up to me that actually recognized me. And trust me, they wouldn't
right.
recognize me outside of all of this anyway. But how would you, since the last time we spoke, have people
Mhm.
recognize you? I mean, you're doing a lot of different things. So you could be somewhere that you didn't even think, and somebody's like, God, you
Right.
look familiar. How is it strangers that feel that they know you because they
Right.
see everything you do, but in
Right.
your mind, you're like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
How do you, or how would one even handle? I mean, I've seen people talk about it and they've been very gracious, but then again, it's a stranger. How do you even begin to even deal with that?
It depends. It depends on the way you are. I know for you, that would kind of freak you out.
Freak
For
me the
me,
fuck out.
it all depends on the way you are normally. For me, normally, that wouldn't bother
Scary.
me at all. We've
Scary.
talked about it. Y'all already know. Go
Scary.
through our episodes. We didn't talk about
Yeah.
it. But
Anywho, moving along.
For me, it wouldn't bother me at all. I love it. You want to be in the vlog? Absolutely. You want to take a picture? Absolutely. You are a supporter? I love it. I love it. Can it get weird? Can you get some potentially weird people? Yeah, I will cross that bridge when it comes. But for the most part, if you rock with me and you say you like my stuff, I'm happy to see a supporter. I'm happy to be, you see me in action. And if you want to be in the vlog, absolutely, for sure. And if you have a vlog, I'm going to shout you out.
And again, I'm not, let me make sure that it's not if somebody goes, hey, you, then I go running. That's not the case. And because we're in different arenas, it's a little, that's
Exactly.
the thing.
Exactly.
When I'm at a trade show, I'm expecting people to come up to me. So that's that. But being caught off guard,
Or
that's the part.
unsolicited.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That would get me. And even sometimes some weird stuff is a lot of people have experienced, not even influencers, just run of the mill folks, weird shit that goes into your DMs. It's like, oh, that's
Right.
a delete and a block while we're at
Right.
it. Gee.
Yeah, I'm going to welcome it right now. I think we discussed it. You was like, do you experience it? I was like, no, but I did that by design. For the new channel, it will happen at some point. But I think this is me just being a little bit reserved and not really. I got into a situation, I've talked about it on other episodes, where some things happened with some people that we were with first when I came back into this. And they were so weird that I was like, oh no, I don't want y'all to know nothing about me. That tripped me out. But that's a different job. The space that I'm going into, it's going to come with the territory. Now I'm expecting it. What I'm doing is totally different with it. So I'm fine with it on that side. But I was like, took it back. Wait a minute. What is this? Do I have to walk around with something on me? What's going on? I ain't no punk now. So
no, you're 7 feet tall. I guess
right.
not.
I ain't no
Jesus
punk.
Christ.
But now I know what I need to do and I'm fine with it. It's good. So if you come up
Okay.
to me when you see the new stuff, I welcome it. Okay. Wait, we talked about that. We've talked about a lot. We've talked about pouring into yourself, making sure that you're okay. Because if you're not okay, it's gonna exude out
It's
of
gonna
your.
come out. It's gonna come out in
It's
other
gonna show in
ways,
your
for sure.
product. It's gonna show in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely take care of yourself. You want to give your best self. So pour into yourself as well. So now we're going to talk managing the dark side, practical things you can do to manage this craziness, the finances of it all, the burning out of it all, the everything that can come with the dark side of this type of situation. So let's get into the good stuff, how to hustle without losing your soul, so to speak. For influencers and creators, step one is to have those digital boundaries. And we've talked about this in other episodes.
Right.
We are so forward with a lot of the stuff we've already discussed with regards to this. And not every moment needs to be your content. You have to keep some things for yourself. Your whole life shouldn't be on film. And then protect your peace. Designate no post zones, like your dinners or weekends, with the hubby, with your significant other, or even with yourself. If you just want to go out and have dinner with yourself, make it be for you. Have some moments for yourself. And that will help you to build up these boundaries that you need in order to have a little piece of yourself for yourself.
I agree. Yeah. And then, separating yourself from your brand. That way, say, for example, not saying it will, but if, say, a post doesn't do as well as you expect it to, then it's not your whole identity. You're not, oh my God, what am I going to do? I only got so many views and I wanted X amount more than what I got.
Right. I agree with that.
Chill
And
out.
Casey, you've done it because you're not, even though it's your brand, you don't have a lot of yourself on it. So you're not necessarily, that's why I say you do it and it's serving you because you knew that up front. And that's what we're trying to portray to get across to you guys. Be intentional. I know people just say, you just do it.
Well,
sometimes you gotta be intentional with some stuff.
Well, yeah, there's another person that I know, and I mentioned her name before. We were on the reality show together, which actually just dropped. Our season dropped yesterday, or season
Season what?
17 of the
The Blocks.
The block. But then one of my castmates, Homestead Hot Sauce, and she is known as the Hot Sauce Girl. And as far as now, she is somebody. Maddie is somebody who did not separate herself from her brand. Again, so you can or you can't, depending on what you want to do.
Correct.
For example, she's known for her red cowgirl boots or cowboy boots, however you want to call it.
Right.
She wears red boots, and that is
Her signature.
Her signature. And as she had mentioned, I think on one of her posts, when she knew she was coming to the show, she wanted to have something to stand out. So
Right.
she built that brand for herself.
And that's what you can do. Like, you can take which road. And that's why you really need to, you don't just throw yourself out there, because think about it a little bit. Like Casey said, that's not her characteristic. She's more private. She likes to be, she likes to roam about the countryside and unnoticed. She likes to be able to move. But some people, they want that attention. So they want to have my red boots. Me, if you know me, I'm purple. So anything that has anything to do with me, you're going to see some purple in it because I love purple.
For sure.
That's my branding. But that's
you. But you have to know who you are, though.
You have to know who you are.
Because I don't know. For me, I could do it for a certain amount of time, then I would shut down. And because that's not my thing.
It's not authentically you.
No, it's not. Like I said, we do the show, all of this. This part is me. I didn't know that it was until it was. But anything else, then no. So you also need to know what you can maintain. That's the key as far as consistency.
Exactly. And prioritize your mental health. Schedule your digital detoxes. Yes. Use screen time limits. Again, we've discussed this on other episodes. Maybe even therapy. You can pick or choose. You can do it or not. We're not advocating for everyone to get therapy. That's totally up to you.
That word's been thrown around a lot.
Correct. You can
That's
have
therapy in itself, depending on conversations that you're having, because sometimes only they can relate to what is going on. I said in one episode, I've had a cousin who's always been the entrepreneurial mindset. I mean, he had habits like everybody else, but now he's really honing in on his craft. And I never really would have long, drawn out conversations with him in regards to that because I didn't understand where he was coming from. My mindset was somewhere else.
Yep.
So when you get somebody that has the same mindset and they've been in the business, no matter necessarily what it is, but some of your issues, they can tell you how they dealt with stuff, which can help you deal with stuff. It might be a different situation, but overall, it might have the same effect.
Any type of life coach.
Yep.
Like we said, you can subscribe to therapy or you don't, but different types of therapies now.
Yep.
You don't have to necessarily go and lay on somebody's couch. They actually have subscriptions. They actually have digital where you can log on and have a conversation with someone.
Yep.
So it's not the same. There's different forms of it, you could say. So you can also diversify your income. So this is we're talking about practical strategies here. Diversify your income, with regards to merch, Patreons. This is more so we're talking about content creators, having a memberships, things of that nature. So you're not sweating every brand deal. You build a real life and you build a real crew for who you know and not just your handle. So it's things you can do to make this a lot easier. If you can get it ahead of the game, some people like to dive in head first and learn, while you're
Mhm.
doing it. And that's okay. That's fine. If that's the way you want to do it, we're just providing you with what has helped us, what can help you, and what we've done.
Is that a mic drop?
That
You just you just stopped dead in your
I
tracks. I
just
was like,
stopped dead in my
I
tracks.
was like, okay.
My bad, my bad. It's okay. So what about the entrepreneurs?
A lot of them are drowning in to-do lists, which is why I had said previously, learning how to delegate definitely
Yes.
helps. Learning how to delegate, that will alleviate a lot of the to-do lists that, something that takes you 2 hours to do can take somebody else 10 minutes to do, because that
Correct.
is in their wheelhouse and you're trying to learn every aspect. And I'm not trying to learn every aspect. I need people to know what I need them to do, and then we all meet and confer, and I have the final say on something. But
Right.
yeah, the to-do list will kill you every time.
And Casey, she delegates well. So she I always tell her that because I am still one of those people, as she just explained, I like to know the ins and outs of everything. She's definitely your delegator. When I say she knows how to delegate, she does. She's not the person that's going to be the CEO and the intern. If she can find somebody to do something to make her plate a little less, she is going to find it. She is going to outsource. She's building a team. If you want to take your brand or your business to the next level and you don't want to touch everything and know everything, then you need to learn how to build a team. You need to learn how to trust other people to see your vision and execute on your vision. You have your responsibilities, but you have to learn how to delegate. And if you can do that
Yeah.
well, then you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, I always tell people, because I said, look, when I come home and I flip a switch, I don't give a shit about the wiring behind the wall. I
Right.
want my light to turn on.
Right.
Period.
You don't necessarily have to know how they turn on or
I
what's
don't
going
need to
on.
know every intimate detail.
Yes.
I want to flip the switch and I want my light to come on. I know enough to get an electrician if the fucker don't work and have him fix it. Again, I want to flip the switch and I want the light to come
You
on.
want the lights to turn on. Exactly.
That's exactly how I look at it with everything else. I know what's going on within my business. I could tell you about the sales. I could tell you about the marketing, this and that, because I still confer with the people who are doing that. I don't just here do it and then I walk away, although sometimes I want to do that, but it doesn't work that way. And if it doesn't work with that group of people or what have you, you go to the next. I've had my horror stories with that. Hired some people and it was basically a train wreck. You live and you learn. And
You
now I
live and
have
you learn.
folks, and the lesson from that is now I know what I don't want. So when I went and I had to go and interview people and bring people on board, now I know what questions to ask. I know what I'm looking for. If that red flag even looks pink, you're out, as I've been down that road.
And sometimes you have to go through that, failing fast, failing often, and move
Because that's how
accordingly.
you
That's how you learn. Exactly. So you also need to create a sustainable schedule. Rest isn't lazy,
Correct.
it's strategic. Define your success beyond revenue. You want to do that. Celebrate the impact, celebrate your growth, learning, and not just your bank account.
Right. Because there's a lot of unhappy rich people out there.
Woohoo! Say that again.
There's a lot of unhappy rich people out there.
There are. They really, and that people don't see it. There's a lot of unhappy business owners, influencers. Yes, they exist.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
exist. Money
They do.
don't equal happiness.
No. No.
Really don't. So, Kate, anything else you want to add?
And for everyone, entrepreneurs, influencers, creators, practice quiet wins. What does that mean? Not everybody needs to know every single solitary thing that's going on.
Exactly. Exactly.
You
Celebrate
know,
those
because
wins.
again, there's people out there that are betting on your failure, literally your failure,
Right.
not your failure to learn, but your failure, your demise.
Yep.
Because some of the folks, and it could be some folks that you think are your friends, they're secretly hoping that you fail. You don't need to share every damn thing. As grandma would say, leave something to the imagination. You don't have to show all your goods.
See, that's wisdom.
You don't have to do that.
Absolutely. I totally subscribe to that.
So, yeah.
In a word, it's about building the life that you want. It's about building a life that you don't need to escape from, not just brands and business at the end of the day.
Oh, that was profound.
You do want to build the life that you want. And it looks different for everybody, right? Everybody thinks when you're out here, you're gunning to be this gazillionaire. And it's not always about that for everybody. Some people like to live a quiet and peaceable life, but live it on their terms and the way they want.
That would be me. And I always say, if I could have neighbors that were like my closest neighbor a mile away, that would be great.
Not everybody wants to have that big old house. They don't want to walk down the street, be seen, or have to eat at a fancy restaurant all the time, have to buy, this and that. They just want a life that feels right to them. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's good to know.
There is nothing wrong with that. All right, fam, we want to hear from you. Which hustle do you vibe with? Is it entrepreneurship? Is it being a content creator? Is it about being an influencer, or 9 to 5? There is nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. Some people love it. And if you love it, I love it for you. But what's your darkest part of your grind, and how do you manage it? We want to hear from you guys. Drop us something. Let us know what you have learned, any tidbits you've learned if you're in this industry that we call entrepreneurship and creators. Let us know. Even 9 to 5. The majority of folks work a 9 to 5. Let us know what your successes is, how you survive being in the dark side of corporate America.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So we love to hear from you guys. So
now that drove me to therapy.
Right. Okay, it does. It can. So we've talked about it a little bit on here. I think, what was it? The toxic workplace. I think we did an episode, toxic workplace. So we're not oblivious to it. We all came from these types of environments, but we just saw we want to take different directions in life, and it's nothing wrong with that. We would love to hear from you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And again, thank you for everybody who continues to rock with it. Yes, who has watched our recordings from beginning to end. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. I love to hear from you guys in the comments. If you do not see, I try to get in there and respond or pin up really good comments that people have made. So again, thank you for that. And the folks that are on the platforms, the audio platform, we appreciate you guys too. We see you too. We thank you so much for everybody who's rocking with us and just listen to us on your way to work or on your walk, your hike, whatever. Thank you. Again, it hasn't been a year for us, but it feels like a year.
Right. Yeah, it does feel like it.
Our anniversary is December.
December.
A year. Yeah. So of Disrupt and Discuss, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the ride. You're enjoying the journey with us on this new podcast. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Casey, is there anything else you want to add to this?
No, I think we beat this with a dead horse. We beat this dead horse.
We beat it like
man.
We always beat the negative ones. Is that by design? I guess it's just you have more to talk about bad stuff sometimes than you have good stuff to talk about. Is that like the situation?
Or sometimes everybody knows the good stuff. Right. Again, as I always say, not to poo-poo it, but before I make any decision, before I do something, you want to read the comments when you're on Amazon, for example. I go to the comments.
Right.
I'm on Instagram. I go to the comments. So
I do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You kind of want to get an overall view, not to deter anybody at all, because if it was that bad, we wouldn't be doing it. Right. And it's just one of those things where you just know what you're getting into. And if it doesn't affect you, then you're lucky.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
The outlier.
Yeah.
Congrats to you.
That's right.
Congrats to you. Okay. But that's all we got, you guys. Until the next one. Bye.
Tiki Barber here. I remember those grueling practices, pushing through fatigue and striving for greatness. Well, that's the same dedication My Herba puts into their supplements. They understand the body's needs. My Herba takes a holistic approach to wellness, whether it's their sea moss, immune defense, or even sleepy time. they have an option for you. Let My Herba make the best you with code BARBER10 for 10% off at thefitnesscollectif.com.
Now I'm the only person that's doing what I'm doing. I accept that role. I am who I am. I'm comfortable with being who I am.